Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Return to Yharnam, episode number 3, at least I think it's number 3. Actually, you guys missed a little bit of what happened. There was some sort of issue with my, I'm assuming this is what it was, my gameplay recording software showing a tiny bit of lag because I had some major input lag. But I know it wasn't the controller or anything like that, so I'm pretty sure it was just a delay from the capture software showing the image of the game. So anyway, I ended up scrapping that footage. All I did was run to Gascoigne. I went up to Gascoigne, fought him, and died pretty miserably because of that little bit of what I experienced as input delay, but really was probably just a lag in the video being sent to me from the capture card. I don't know why it lagged like that. It probably had something to do with the fact that my system had just updated to the Windows 10 Fall Creators Update, and I don't think I'd even restarted again. So hopefully this restart will take care of that. So far it looks good. I noticed what seemed to be input lag immediately. I noticed it especially like fighting these guys, and so far I'm not noticing anything, so we'll see what happens. Oh shoot, I didn't anticipate getting hit. But do we ever? Actually, yeah, there are times where I actually... Look at them, they look like two different... You know what, I never noticed. One has a cape and one doesn't. And all the time I've played this game, I've never noticed that about them. This is their rubber banding point. Oh shoot, if I'd been just a little closer. Yeah, rubber banding is what's known, or what's known as rubber banding is when you get an enemy to the limit of where they're allowed to follow you, so they kind of return back to where they're supposed to be. Yeah, I can't get them that way. Oh, I keep trying that chart. Oh shoot! I didn't know he was going to rush forward like that. Okay, I'm stuck. There we go. Thank goodness he went back. Why am I having so much trouble with this simple stuff right here? Oh, I hit the wrong button. Oh well, at least I got some use out of those heals. I meant to do that. Oh yeah. You know, if you kill an enemy with a critical attack like that, it should actually give you more blood echoes. So it would enhance the benefit to taking that risk even if you didn't need to otherwise. Alright, today's drink of choice is hot matcha green tea. It's green tea made from the powdered green tea leaves. So it's not just steeped, it's not just water that steeps in green tea, or green tea leaves that steeps in water rather. But it's actually the ground up green tea mixed into the water, so you kind of consume more of the plant. Oh, it's still hot, still very hot, but very good. Some of the things we've been talking about as we alternate between Return to Drain Lake, Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin, and Return to Yharnam, Bloodborne, are a lot of political topics, including net neutrality, stuff about Trump, a lot of stuff about the real fake news. Woo! Oh shoot. I thought they were going to get hit, so I wasn't anticipating them walking up on me like that. Here we go. Awesome. So we have been upgrading the saw cleaver. What did they call it in this game? It's not even called upgrading. It's not called fortify. We've been fortifying. That's what... Oh, hang on. Let me make sure that it didn't send another guy down here who might have something on him. No, okay. Search all the bodies. Net neutrality has been a big one. The net neutrality rules that are encapsulated in Title II classification. This is where I died, actually, after I attempted to return to Gascoigne and realized that the input lag thing I thought I was experiencing, which was a game recording issue, was just too much for me. There we go. Now I got my blood echoes back. I actually like fighting those guys. You can run from the lamp and fight those two that were down there when you know, go down those stairs and immediately fight those two big dudes. And they will always drop, I think, either 2 blood vials, usually 2 blood vials, or something else. I can't remember what the other thing is that they drop. So it's a good place to actually farm some blood vials early on. It's not an amazing place to do it, but if you need to do it, just run, kill a couple of them, go back to the lamp, and repeat. Oh, shoot. Woo, there we go. Okay. It's also very important to know which enemies you can stagger and which you can't. It makes a big difference in terms of how you approach the combat. And the difference is, if you can stagger an enemy, then as long as you have the stamina, and as long as you can attack fast enough, you just need to keep attacking them. Haha! I think it broke lock-on when I did that. Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, I think he's gonna change it up a bit here. Yeah, there he goes. Okay. Okay. We got him past the halfway point. Oh, shoot. I thought he was done at that point. Okay, here we go. Now the game kicks it up a notch. Oh, shoot. Oh, crap. I'm in trouble. Oh, see, I'm trying to... Oh, shoot. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Interesting that he can break through those tombs. I have no idea how to fight him in this form. It's been so long, guys. Go. Oh, whew, I just barely caught him on that. Oh, yeah. My rush down right at the end succeeded. I figured I could kill him in 2 shots, and sure enough, I could. That got my heart rate up a little bit. That's good. Since I've gotten sick, I haven't been able to do a whole lot. I haven't been able to work out, which is really frustrating. But, you know, I will recover, and I will gain back everything that I've lost. I'll be like Gold Dukat from Deep Space Nine. All that I have lost, I will regain. Of course, in the end, Gold Dukat kind of lost everything in the worst possible way, but we'll just ignore that part of it. I don't think you get anything from touching this, do you? Oh, yeah, you do. Okay, you pop it. That's right. Or whatever it's called. You light it. I'd rather light the lamp. I still prefer the bonfire system in Dark Souls to all the other ways that these lamps work, or the Archstones of Demon Souls, or the lamps in Bloodborne, or the bonfires in Dark Souls 2 and 3. Dark Souls is still the only game where you have that full functionality at every bonfire. Every bonfire allows you to level up, use whatever items you purchase, like the repair box, the weaponsmith box, armor smith box. You can access your, what is it called, bottomless box? Which is really cool. Okay, so the latest news that will really date this video for those watching from the future is that the GOP, otherwise known as Republicans, the Republican tax plan, the 2017 tax bill has passed. It will not affect 2017's taxes. So the tax returns that you file at as late as April 15th, 2018, or as early as January 1st, I mean, you can file any time in 2018 for 2017's taxes, you know, because you always file for the previous year's taxes. It will not affect that because 2017 has already happened. The tax bill affects the next year, not the current year it's passed in, because we're at the end of the year. Now we got the workshop tool, which is cool. I think that means we can apply runes. I think. Need to double check that. Like I said, it's been a long time. I don't remember everything about this game. In fact, I'm forgetting most of the stuff about it at the rate we're going here, huh? Let's talk to him. I don't think he gives us anything, but that's really the only reason I talk to most NPCs. I hate these gestures that you can do with motions. I always do them by mistake. And I never, ever... Ugh. I hate that. Stop doing that. Okay. Oh, look at this. I'm doing another one. Completely unintentional. I'm just trying to mash the button to get through dialogue. And I'm doing all these gestures. Hello? There we go. it's a... Yeah, so the tax plan will affect 2018's taxes, and they said you should notice it as early as your February checks. And the reason a lot of people wonder, well, why won't I notice it on my January checks? Because your January check is likely still money that you earned in December 2017, because there's always a delay between when you get paid. For most people, there tends to be up to 2 or more weeks after the end of a pay period before you get your check, depending on how you're paid. If you're paid monthly, you're paid for the previous month or whatever. So there's a delay between when you actually worked a period of time and when you get paid for the period that you worked. So you get some of your 2017 earnings actually come to you in checks that you get in 2018. So a lot of people, forget about that. That's the reason why you can't simply, it's not as simple as, okay, January 1st, everything changes over. You're still getting some stuff from 2017 after January 1st, and that affects your 2017 income taxes because you actually earn that income in 2017. Let's see, do we have any blood gems? We do not. And we can't fortify yet. We need 4 more bloodstone shards. You can actually farm those bloodstone shards from those werewolf-looking dudes that we encountered right before Gascoigne. And it wouldn't be a bad idea, I imagine, to farm them there. But I'm not going to do that on camera just because it takes up time. And I'd rather not take up your time with just simple farming. Welcome, good hunter. Okay, strength gives us 1 point. Skill gives us 1 point. Endurance gives us more stamina. I think I would like more stamina. We need to get to 2857. Let's see if we can pop some hard echoes for that. I oftentimes call the echoes in this game souls just because, we're so used to that. The soul language. 1 more and we should be good. Okay. That should take us up to our next level.
Very well.
Let's see. How about another point into endurance? Endurance is not as important in this game, given that you don't have to worry about equipment load. I guess technically there is a sort of equipment load in the game, but nothing like Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2 or 3. Matcha. If you guys haven't tried matcha, you should definitely give it a shot. Make sure you buy authentic, matcha. You don't want to buy some crap that's just like matcha flavor. That's the danger of our modern world, is there's so much fake food out there. And when I say fake food, I don't mean it's impossible to eat. I just mean that it's not really what it says it is. Everything saying, strawberry jam. Yeah, it has 10% strawberries. It's mostly just corn syrup and gunk, xanthan gum and who knows what other crap they put in it that's just not good for you and really something you don't need to be consuming at all. The world would be a lot better if corn syrup didn't exist, that's for sure. In fact, the world would be a lot better place for everyone if we just didn't consume refined sugar. But, the world is all about that refined sugar, that we want refined sugar in everything. Sugar, sugar, sugar. It's a world of sugar. Oh shoot, I forgot you can't always stagger them. Oh, I ran out of stamina. I was trying to regain some of my health, but I was out of stamina there. Take that, crow. These crows are way too loud, by the way. They need to edit the audio balance of the crows, but they're not going to by this point, obviously. It's a done deal now. This game's way too old for them to go back and be like, yeah, let's change the volume on an enemy. And the crows have a high drop rate for pebbles, which, I almost never use pebbles for anything. Apparently some people find them useful for getting an enemy's attention. I can usually do that other ways. By, edging forward or just dealing with it. But there's an area at the beginning of the game, in Central Yharnam. I think that's the area, I think it's called Central Yharnam, where basically it's really useful to use the pebbles because there's a whole bunch of enemies hovering around this burning corpse on the stake. You guys probably know what I'm talking about, and it's like that's an area that's meant to showcase the purpose of the pebbles, I think. Man, I do a terrible job fighting these guys. Blue elixir. I don't remember getting that very often from him. Okay. Wooden shield. You know, I was watching somebody's video on Bloodborne. They were doing like a Bloodborne commentary. And they were joking about how the game only has 2 shields, which are both useless. Am I crazy, or is that not true? I mean, maybe the second shield he's referring to is the same wooden shield that drops somewhere in the what are they called? Not the catacombs, but the chalice dungeons. Because as far as I know, in the main game, there's only 1 shield, right? The wooden shield that I just picked up now. I think that's the only shield throughout the entirety of the main game. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I was pretty sure that was kind of a well-known thing, that the game only had 1 shield. Alright, there appears to be only one way to go. So let's see what we can get out of this. So the GOP tax bill. Yes, as usual, you can always expect there to be lots and lots of lies from all sorts of different sides and angles for different reasons. A lot of times the people that are lying are actually just saying things that aren't true because they don't know the truth. In some cases they know it's true, but they're saying something that's untrue intentionally, or they're just willfully ignorant. They choose to be ignorant, and they continue and willfully choose to repeat things that are not true. So if you're repeating something that's not true and you haven't taken the time to try to verify it, especially if someone's challenged it, then that to me is akin to willfully lying. The opportunity, all the means are there for you to quickly and easily verify if what you're saying is true or not. You can do just a quick search. But if you choose to just continue to propagate something that may or may not be true and you don't bother checking it, yeah, that's a level of dishonesty for sure. That's a level of dishonesty, no doubt. Uh-oh. I almost forgot about that thing. Okay, I was so confused by that my first time through the game. I think most people were, though. Look at that guy. He looks depressed. He needs to exercise and consume more magnesium. Did you guys know there's a study out that says that magnesium may be more effective than depression medicine for depression symptoms? I believe it. I don't have a good gauge on this guy's distances on his attacks. So, oh shoot, I did not mean to do that. I meant to switch. Oh crap. Bad timing on my part. Oh, I went right through that. There we go. Did you? I went right through that weapon. I totally made use of just about every invincibility frame I think the game lets you have. Why is this here? You can shut this gate, I guess? I guess probably if you want to try to avoid that enemy. A way to try to dodge him. Or seal him off. Alright. Interestingly enough, there's a lever on each side, so this gate will never obstruct your path. So clearly it looks like it's meant to be something where you could shut that enemy off if you wanted to. Interesting. Although this one, I believe the lever's on the other side. Only a special emblem. Oh, okay. Special emblem, eh? I guess I don't have it. Baby carriage. So the GOP tax bill, the prevailing lie that's being spread by Democrats and the news media is that it's a tax break for the wealthy. And while that's not untrue, it's also only a part of what's true, and saying only that part of it will knowingly mislead people. So if you knowingly mislead a person, you're basically lying to them. Even if what you're saying is true, what you said is misleading and you know it to be misleading. So, oh, it's backhand there. That backhand hit me. got them. The reason it's not true is because it does give a tax break to wealthy people, some wealthy people. Other wealthy people get barely anything back. But it mainly gives a tax break to pretty much most Americans and most families. So to only focus on the one would be a level of dishonesty akin to lying, basically. And that's one of the ways that the news lies, is they only tell you a part of the story, knowing that the conclusion you'll draw from the part that they give you is the conclusion they want you to have, which isn't necessarily the truth. There we go. The GOP tax bill will save, like, the average middle-class family around $2,000. And you can actually get online and use calculators that they've created where you put in your information, like how much you made, how many children you have, all that stuff. They've also doubled the child tax credit from $1,000 to $2,000, which does help families, mostly middle class and those lower than middle class, not necessarily all the way down to the poverty line, but lower middle class, I guess you could call them. So in that regard, it helps out a lot. They've lowered how much the mortgage interest deduction allows. I think previously it was like over $1 million. Now it's only like $750,000. And some Democrats, politicians, mind you, were willfully lying, saying that this created this deduction where rich people can write off their mortgage up to $750,000. So they made it sound like the Republicans put something in there specifically for rich people, when what they did was decrease the amount of the deduction so that it gives less benefit to rich people. So what the Democrats were saying was precisely the opposite of actual reality. And this happens a lot. The Republicans do it a lot to Democrats when Democrat bills go through. You know, if you remember the whole Obamacare fiasco, I mean, I'm totally against Obamacare. It's garbage. It's always been garbage, always will be garbage. But Republicans were lying that, you know, it's going to kill grandma. One of the dumbest, stupidest things we have to go through every time there's any bill related to healthcare is, this is a blood money. Americans will die. This will kill Americans. You know, they're buying tax cuts with American blood. You know, just all these stupid things about how Americans are going to die if we change this bill, or if we pass this bill, or if we change whatever policy. And it's almost always a bunch of crap. 2, 3. I can't believe I didn't get hit by that. Oh yeah, there we go. I forgot you could do that, Tim. Alright. Look at all these bloodstone shards. I can now max out my weapon on bloodstone shards. I've already got enough. I've got more than enough. Whoa. There's more than I remember. Alright. I like that. I'm a big fan of that. So the GOP tax bill really is a tax cut for the vast majority of all Americans. There are some people or families that, based on exactly how they declare their income, based on what deductions they made, may not experience much of a cut. I haven't seen any that experienced a significant increase. I don't think that's the case for anybody. There are people online obviously lying about it, saying that their taxes are going to go up. No one's actually shown that to be a reality. That's just sort of like a catchphrase. And that's an important thing to know with politics. Politics is full of phrases, lines that people repeat, catchphrases basically, buzzwords, taglines, you know, Americans will die, tax cuts for the wealthy. These things are just buzz phrases basically. They have no significant meaning. They don't communicate any value. All they do is just sort of rally the troops. Those who are already opposed to something become more opposed to it. Those who are in support of it just accuse you of being a liar, accuse you of not telling the truth. You know what? I'm realizing I have no idea where to go already. I'm already lost. This path doesn't seem to lead anywhere, and neither did the other path. I remember getting lost here a few times in some of my playthroughs. I do get lost in Bloodborne quite a bit. Dark Souls 2 occasionally as well. Dark Souls, the first game, I almost never get lost in Dark Souls. Okay, so what do we do now? What do we do? Where do we go? Who do we talk to? Who do we see? Is this a path we haven't taken yet? You know what? I think it is. I think it is. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Yes, this is the way. Yes, this is the proper direction, Avatar. Those of you who played Ultima 7 will know what that's from, which is probably very few of you at this point. It's a much, much older DOS game. Although there is a engine that allows you to play it on modern operating systems. I think both Windows, Linux, or not just both, but Windows, Linux, and Mac, I believe. You sort of have to gauge when you think the dog's going to come at you and try to hit him as he comes at you, or back out and be real close. Because if you're not real close to the dog when it attacks, you're not going to hit it. Let's go get this guy while he's over here. Although I think there's another dude hiding around the corner right there. They gave this guy a really quick torch jab move, which I think is mainly designed to catch you if you're up in his face, basically trying to spam attacks, which I'm actually okay with. Although I find it annoying, I'm okay with that because it is kind of a counter to the very effective technique of just simply mashing R1. If you know you got a bunch of stamina and you get the first hit on that guy, since he's kind of a peon, a simple enemy, all you got to do is just keep mashing R1 over and over again and you can stun lock him. So giving him a real quick jab attack that he can occasionally get through your R1s does add an element of challenge to it. It adds a difficulty there that wouldn't otherwise be present. Allows him to poke you when normally he wouldn't get any attack off. Okay. There's two paths. The paths diverge. This we can open up with like a lever. I think that's up above. And I think there's like somebody there. Okay. I remember somebody hiding here. Ooh, one shot. Nice. Madman's knowledge. Okay, so yeah, we have to go the other route to go up above. Yeah, but the GOP tax bill should be, in my opinion, an overall very good thing. Some of the tax cuts in there are not permanent. I think they expire in like 2025. That does concern me, though, because what it means is that if nothing is done, like let's say Congress is just kind of at a stalemate and nobody can get anything done, then those tax cuts will simply expire, and then a lot of the benefit of the bill will be lost at that point. And that's what I worry may happen, because oftentimes when a bill is passed, it simply lingers around long past its usefulness, simply because our Congress tends to favor, or not necessarily favor, but tends to move towards inaction more often than action. It's why we have so many useless bills on file. It's why we have so many things, great bills that should pass that never make it off the ground. It's why that we have so much that just doesn't get done. Because, you know, any action can be heavily criticized, but inaction, you know, people just be like, yeah, well, they didn't do anything. What's new? But if you do something and it doesn't work out, that leads to very, very heavy criticism. So, just give me the fire paper. Okay. So yeah, the advantage to not committing any action is that, you know, you don't screw up and get heavily criticized for it. So far, I seem to be doing okay with the Windows 10 Fall Creators Update, other than the fact that recording gameplay with G-Sync seems to cause my frame rate to go up and down like crazy. In Dark Souls 2 that is, my steady 60 FPS actually started going from 45 to 74. Yes, the game is not supposed to exceed 60. The game is supposed to be locked to 60. But somehow, because of the Fall Creators Update, Windows 10, with G-Sync enabled, would cause the system to push Dark Souls 2 FPS up to 74. So clearly something's wrong there. I actually got I complained about it on Twitter, and I actually just got a response yesterday from the Microsoft Windows account asking if I was still having problems with gameplay recording. I am. So I told them yes, and I told them that it seems to be an issue with G-Sync and the frame rate. Haven't received a response. It's been over a day, but I'm assuming that account is just being inundated with replies and complaints. I mean, probably in the area of tens of thousands. So I would expect a response to take a while if I get one. And then typically, I imagine if they can't fix the issue, they'll probably do what a lot of companies do and just sort of be silent and say nothing. I don't know why, but this thing always kind of freaked me out. But you can take advantage of the rubber banding here at this doorway. Come here. Come here. See how I basically abused the AI right there to kill him. Feels cheap, but satisfying. All right. It's like when you eat the fast food that you know you shouldn't eat, that's not good for you. But you're like, okay, that kind of hit the spot because now you're not hungry. But you know you shouldn't have done that. You know you shouldn't have taken... You know that you should have taken the more noble route and like cook something good for yourself. Same feeling there. All right. Look at this. Let's see what we got here. So many things in this game that look like treasure chests that aren't. The antidote. An antidote. It's opposed to the dote. That's why it's an antidote. Alright, here we go. Well, we've made it to the next area. I feel like there's more we could have explored at the previous area, but let's go level up and fortify our weapon. There are also people out there, politicians included, who always use extreme language. And there's a big danger there because if you're talking about a restaurant, like who cares if you're like, oh, this is the best burger, guys, it's the best burger. Well, when you say something is the best burger, you can't go any higher than that. That's like level 10. That's the max level that you can hit. There's nothing better than best. But when you're talking about politics and you're misleading a lot of people that look up to you or that trust you, then you know, we're talking about it's a lot more serious that you're lying to people. And one of the ways that... Oh, stupid gestures. I hate these motion control gestures. I wish you could turn them off. All right. Oh, here we go. Physical attack up. Oh, that's clearly superior right there. That's clearly the better one. Oh, but I can equip both. Nice. There we go. Very good. Nancy Pelosi. Wow. You know, if ever there was a great example of why we need term limits, Nancy Pelosi is one of them. John McCain's also another one. But Nancy Pelosi is like that senile grandmother that, you know, her family isn't taking responsibility and telling her she needs to quit driving because she's too senile. Well, in case of Nancy Pelosi, she's like the senile old woman that just needs to be told, hey, you gotta go now. You're no longer mentally fit to run for a public office, but there is no like procedure to get her out. So she's just continuously there, constantly nonstop. So she's up there in front of the podium, shaking like she has Parkinson's disease, like some old woman, can barely talk, stopping every other, you know, word. And we have to pass the bill so that we can find out what is in it. That's literal quote, guys. She literally said that we have to pass the bill so we can find out what's in it when she was talking about Obamacare. And as she's doing it, you know, she reminds you of your grandma that's kind of just not totally with it. Well, what did she say about the GOP tax bill? She said it was the worst bill ever to come upon the House floor or ever to come to Congress. Basically saying it's the worst bill ever. And of course, anybody who knows anything about the history of the United States and the number of different bills that have been introduced would know that there have been some really, really terrible bills introduced that never made it anywhere. I mean, you can just think of an easy one. What is everyone's favorite topic in the U.S.? Slavery, of course, blah, 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 who cares, right? But, you know, there are bills enshrining slavery or slave laws into effect. There are just so many different bills out there. Uh-oh, where's this guy? Where is he? Oh, I can skip his dialogue. Awesome. Alright, we'll skip all his dialogue. We don't care what he has to say. But yeah, there are so many infinitely worse bills I mean, the GOP tax bill, even if the Democrats' lies about it were true, even if every single lie they told about it was true, and it was as terrible as they say it is, it still wouldn't even rank in the top 10. It wouldn't rank in the top 20. It wouldn't rank in the top 50 of terrible bills. Oh, shoot. Oh, there we go. Gosh darn it. There we go. Okay. That little thing we killed is the equivalent of this game's crystal lizards. Alrighty, let's take this little path down. I recall going down here a lot for the shortcut. I don't know what else is down. I think there's like a torch down here that we want to pick up. Like the best torch in the game. Not that that's saying much. There are only, I think, 2 torches. Okay. You got any goods for me, buddy? Okay. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, the Hunter's Torch. Okay. Definitely a great utility weapon. Not a straight-up weapon, obviously. I think there's a platform. Yeah, there it is. Right there. Okay. And then fall down here. Okay, there we go. Nice that you can fall down here without taking damage. I'm just not a fan of how often these games make you take damage to fall down places you're intended to fall down. But yeah, Nancy Pelosi. Wow. Term limits. Term limits. That's really, you know, John McCain, term limits. Term limits. We need term limits. That was one of the things that Trump campaigned on. But the problem we're going to run into is that the only branch of the government that can put term limits on Congress is Congress. And you quite literally are asking a group of people to go out of their way to create a law that limits their ability to create laws, or that actually just kind of writes them out of office. You're actually asking them to create a law that excludes them from the office that they currently serve in. Because countless people in Congress have been there longer than 2 terms. And I think we would all agree that if we're going to do term limits, 2 is the number. I came down here to get that item right there, so now I got to go all the way back down again. 2 should be the magic number. 2 is always kind of the number for term limits. 2 terms for the president. I think pretty much every political office should have a 2-term limit deal on it. Because we just don't need the same people in office forever. The longer a person remains in office, there's an exponentially greater likelihood that that person will just become entrenched and become how do I want to say this? Become part of the political establishment, and will cease to represent the people, and will no longer be able to really connect with the average person, or really even understand what they're there for anymore. At that point, they're just doing politics. It's politics as usual. It's following the normal course of action, that just going through the motions and playing party politics and playing all the games that come with it. So I think by only being in there for 2 terms, it also does something else. It really pushes them towards action. It says, okay, you've got a maximum of 2 terms in office. So if you can't get something done in this term, even if you win the next term, that's it. That's your last chance to get something done, and then you're out. Now, you could serve in some other political office capacity. You know, you could run for Congress and then run for Senate. I'm okay with that. And people would do that a lot, I'm sure. But they're very different races in many ways. They have different constituencies that you have to represent, so they'd have to run for and win those seats in somewhat different ways. So they may have to accommodate different interests. So I'd be okay with, a congressman running out of his 2 terms and then running for the Senate. Some people might not, but I'm okay with that. Now, maybe they want to put in 2 terms and say you can only serve 2 terms in Congress, which would mean you can only be a representative or senator for 2 terms combined together. So let's say you ran for senator, then you lost, then you ran for congressman, then you won. That would be your last term because you served a term as senator. Now you're serving one as congressman, then you're done. I think it should be the exact same office. As long as it's the same office, then the term limits apply. Wow, a lot of Bloodstone shards. I don't remember getting this many. I guess they want you to be able to upgrade at least 2 weapons at this point, in case the one you started upgrading wasn't to your liking. But that's good, though. I think it's very good. Okay, there he is. You can see him right there. Now, I will say this. There is no way that the average person is going to notice that there's a dude up there that's going to shoot at him. I mean, you're just not going to notice. There's so much stuff going on here. Unless you get binoculars and look at it, but I can't remember if the game has binoculars or where you get them. I'm pretty sure it does have binoculars. I just don't remember where you can pick them up. Yes, but term limits, I think, would do everyone good except the political establishment. And we don't want the oh, shoot. Okay, whew, that was a blind jump. I was pretty sure I could jump down here safely. Now I'm wondering if they're going to jump down after me. Oh, that one did. Come here, buddy. I got something for you. It's called the saw cleaver to the face. I wish this other guy would either jump or stop moving. He's making me nervous that he's going to jump down when my back's turned. Yeah, term limits will be good for everyone except for the entrenched establishment politicians. And a lot of people hear the word establishment and think it's like this conspiracy theory thing. It's not. The establishment simply means established politicians and the way that they operate and kind of the way that they function. And there is a very much an establishment in the United States. There's sort of this just way that politicians tend to vote, and tend to act the longer they're in office. They just become part of this kind of amorphous, not even Democrat, not really Republican, not fully liberal, not fully conservative, just amalgamation of garbage. They become simply less of everything, and more of everything we don't want them to become of. It's hard to explain, obviously, especially while playing Bloodborne here and trying not to get shot and killed. But it's just a bad thing, definitely a bad thing. That's not very descriptive, I know, but hey. Okay, so I can get shot here. I gotta remember what angles I can be shot at. I remember you can get shot here, right? Right there. He is very particular about trying to shoot you as soon as you come into view. In actual reality, if he had that powerful Gatling gun, this little wooden armoire, or whatever it was, or is, wouldn't do a lot for you. The antidote. I hear an enemy moving around, which always freaks me out. I don't want that thing hitting me at an inopportune time. I guess there's really no good time to get hit, but there's certainly better times than others to get hit. Woo! Look at that. I hit almost all of them at once there. I think I did actually hit all of them at once with a short saw cleaver. Yeah, that guy's got it out for you. I mean, he is hardcore gunning for you. Get it? Gunning for you? Okay, whatever. That's not funny. Well, it's kind of funny, but whatever. Ooh, one shot. I love those one shots. When I'm doing them to enemies. Not when they're done to me. Well, hello there. These guys can be surprisingly agile unexpectedly. You know what? Let's just finish them off. I love it when you can just kind of finish off the little bit of health they have left with a shot from your blunderbuss. I think I have a blunderbuss. Yes, I do. Okay. Ooh, another gemstone. Yeah, the only way to get the best gemstones in this game are to pick them up in the chalice dungeons. I'm sorry, I refuse to do those. I think those chalice dungeons are mostly garbage. I mean, look, I'm happy that they're there in a way because, I mean, it gives something to players that like that. It doesn't take away anything from me other than the fact that if I were really, really interested in PvP and I really wanted to be the best that I could at PvP, I would have to go through those chalice dungeons to get the best blood gems. Otherwise, I'd simply be at a significant disadvantage in PvP. Fortunately, the PvP in this game was never very good and never really attracted a serious following, in my opinion. I mean, there were a lot of people that kind of tried to make it work, but it clearly, the PvP in this game was clearly much an afterthought, more so than any other Souls game. So yeah, anyway, we're at our time limit here, about 45 minutes. Thanks for joining me, guys, as always. If you like the video, you can like it or dislike it. Leave your comments down below. I do try to read them all. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to me here in my main channel, FoxeoGames, link in the description, as well as all my social media accounts like Gab, Minds, Facebook, Twitter, and all that good stuff. I'm most active on Twitter, so follow me there and let me know that you follow me and where you saw me, whether it was this video or wherever else. And I will see you guys next time.